reflux. So, I mean, days old.
And then all the way up, right?
And then all the way up, yes.
All right. Now, when the children come, just out of curiosity, do you ask the mother or the father or the parents or the auntie, uncle, who's ever with the children, what they're eating?
The child?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. And then you can start kind of figuring it out as you're going.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
And I especially ask what the parents' health was like, because that has a huge implication on epigenetics on what the child's health is going to be like. And our doctors don't tell our moms that what you put in your body during pregnancy plays a huge role.
They just tell you to eat for two.
They
But
tell you
don't
to eat for two. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I always ask the health of the mom and the dad. And then, of course, what are the first foods you fed your child? And we see it's the standard American diet, which is why we're so sick today.
Hang on to that thought. And if you just tuned in, you're listening to Let's Go Shopping with Bev right here on KCAA 1050, the station that leaves no listener behind. And I hope everybody in the country and in the world, because we have 137 countries that tune in too. I can't speak their language, but it's pretty cool, right? And I hope you are all listening today to Jackie and Anna. If not, tune in right now. Start getting your crayons, magic marker, your paint, your pencils, whatever you write with. Get it and start taking notes. Because this one program, just like I did on my post today, you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss this one. Okay, go on.
Where were we?
Where were we? About how...
I do ask what the child has been eating, what the first foods are that they had. And
Can I ask you a question,
yes.
Anna? At my office, when people come in and the behavior of a child, whether it's autistic or hyperactive or violent or cries all the time or pulls eyelashes out or hears voices, just to give a few of examples of kids that are having terrible problems based on food, the majority of the parents still don't believe that it's the food causing these problems.
That's right.
So how can you convince? That was a good question. I wish I thought of that.
It's so discouraging.
This is how we can
sometimes.
convince
It's
them.
very
We have
difficult.
a lot of our parents, you know what, just for 1 week, cut out all soda, cut out all energy drinks, or cut out all forms of sugar and look at the improvement, see the improvement. Gluten and dairy, two of our biggest culprits of these behavioral issues. I mean, you can, just for a week, cut out gluten and dairy and see a night and day difference.
Well, talking about the milk, to me, I got on that rice milk. It was the best thing I ever done. It's good. It is really good. It's that pure white color, and they have all different kinds of milk. They have the almond milk and the organic milk.
Coconut milk.
Mm-hmm. You pour it in a glass, and it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And
it has no hormones in it.
Right, I'm going.
No antibiotics.
Nothing. I'm going. Are you kidding? Do I want something great for breakfast? No.
Hey Bev, I have a question.
Yes.
Are there any restaurants or fast food places that are safe to eat?
Yeah,
that is a great question.
I know it's
great.
No.
How about we all give one example?
In Redlands at Eureka Burger, the hamburger meat is grass fed, and it's absolutely
no hormones
fantastic.
And no antibiotics.
Right.
And as of
great tasting,
it is. Yes, it is. As of January, Chipotle is like 90% GMO free, and they're working on getting to 100%. If you order the bowls instead of the tortilla, that's
hard to do.
Yeah. That is a better option.
You know, you get in a habit though. Over time, you never miss that tortilla. After a while, within a year,
that's right.
You won't even think of it.
And then within a year, you won't even think of fast food.
It's like kicking cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
At first it feels like you're giving up your favorite friend, but then you realize it's just a piece of white, flat
Any other
patty.
Yes.
Any other major chains that are safe? Because I'm far from Redlands.
Chipotle, Eureka. I don't know. I used to say In-N-Out, but I just found out In-N-Out is using the same meat as another big. We're mentioning names here, but is another big restaurant that I was not pleased with. So there's hormones and antibiotics. Because I used to say order the protein-style In-N-Out burger without the bun. But I can't say that I would recommend that anymore. So I think Chipotle would be your best bet.
Or stay home.
Or
stay home.
Or pack your lunch and save money.
Pack your lunch. It's
save
better
your money.
because you know what it is.
Initially, cooking at home and eating more at home seems like so much work, and it is because we've been raised on fast food and quick and easy. But once you do it for a while, within 3 months, you'll find your shortcuts. You'll find the things that taste better. You won't even want to eat out anymore. But it's developing a new habit. But at first, it's funny, but everybody is overwhelmed when they think of cooking at home.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's not done anymore.
But what is it worth to you?
Back.
Your headaches, the fatigue, the anxiety, the depression. A lot of this food that we're eating is stimulating those behaviors.
And then also, do you like Chinese food, Joe?
Yeah, sure.
All right, go down to Riverside on University.
I'm not driving to Riverside.
to the Mandarin Garden. Jason does. I'm going to tell you, his food is so good. And every time I show Pinos, I love salmon, right? And I knew him for umpteen thousand years. And he does this salmon for me, the fresh salmon with the lemon. Oh, Lord have mercy. And then he has the brown rice, right? I'm going to tell you, you want a good food. Go over there.
All right.
All right. Just pop in and take over there. And then
is everyone hungry now?
Yeah, it's fabulous. And then the other thing too about people cooking at home. Everybody in Radio Land that has my voice for 6.5 years, I've been saying this: buy a slow cooker. Simple.
Yes.
Get
Crock-pot.
a crock pot. Get a good one to begin with. Just don't get this 1995 one because it won't last. Get yourself a good one. And this is what I do because I'm on the road 24/7. And when I get home, I'm in no mood to cook. You leave the house at 6 o'clock in the morning and you pop in and it's almost 10 o'clock at night. You don't want to cook, right? Or 9 o'clock, whatever time it is. What I do, and it works, the night before, put all your ingredients in the center of your slow cooker, right? Take it, put saran wrap on it, put it in the refrigerator without the fluid, just your veggies, your meat, whatever. Then in the morning, put it in its carrier, put your fluid in it, turn it on low, walk away.
Take their saran wrap off.
Yes, definitely take the saran wrap and the Reynolds wrap off. Right? And then when you come home, your dinner is all made. And, do a nice tall salad or whatever you're going to do. And there's only one pot to clean.
That's right.
And then the other thing with me being raised is Sunday was a big day at my house. We'd have to go to Mass and blah, 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 on my father's side being the Italian side. And we used to cook. Mm-hmm. And we would cook the whole week, every meal for the whole week.
Yeah,
and
that's nice.
And we learned how to cook. And when you get the children involved, they're learning something new. They're getting excited because they're going to know all the vegetables and the fruits and the meats and all the herbs and this and that. Mm-hmm. And it's good because when they have to measure things, it's going to help them with their math. Mm-hmm. And the thrill that they make something and they go, hey, I just made this, right? And then when you come home, if you don't want the slow cooker every day, because it does get a little boring every once in a while, but cook it and all you have to go home, heat it up, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then doing this, you have good leftovers in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Right? Think about it, boys and girls. Okay, now, Miss Jackie.
Yes.
Talking about the children coming to you and the adults coming to you, and the same thing we're talking about, with the parents first. The mom, number one, dad, number two, because the dad's usually not around all the time working. Now, what can they do when they come to the TFT boot camp?
Okay, let me back up just a tad. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a child who is coming home, getting sent to the principal's office continually. He's just overwhelmed, misbehaving, and things like that, and nobody can handle him. Well, I can guarantee you it's something toxic that the child is eating, so we want to change the diet right away. We've got to get the toxins out that are causing the problem. But in the meantime, how many times have you seen a parent so frustrated with the child and you're telling the child, settle down, stop it, be quiet, and you're so full of tension yourself, you can't get the child to calm down because you're passing that tension right into that little body. And that little kid is already overwhelmed, and then you're just putting more tension in. And it's fire flaming the fire. So the first thing that you want to do when you have a child who's out of control is you want to take a deep breath before you do any work with the child. Take a deep breath in and blow all the way out, because with tension we never exhale. So you just breathe all the way in and literally all the way out. Push that extra little bit. Then here's where the thought field therapy comes in. You're going to tap the outside of your hand. So if you take your little finger and trace it down to the bottom, and then the outside of the palm right there, that's what we call the karate chop point. If you were going to chop wood in karate, you would hit the wood with the side of your hand.
All right, I'm going to crack a joke here.
Good.
With karate and chopping the wood, do you go, ah? Do you do that?
I don't do karate, but if I did, I think I would scream anyway, yeah! But yeah, so you don't have to scream, but you're just going to tap with 2 or 3 fingers from one end. It doesn't matter which hand you tap. That's your small intestine meridian. And when you're tapping this, you're immediately discharging your own tension out of your body. This is a powerful place to tap to de-stress.
I'm having a beer. It's okay.
No, try it, Joe. Pick up your hand and tap it. I can feel the difference.
I can totally feel the difference.
That is so cool.
Yes,
and we're just not saying this. This is true.
Yeah, it's a release valve. It's where you go to release your tension. And if you want, you could take both outer hands and kind of hit them together at the same time. But it's easy to just take one hand and tap the outside of the other hand. About 5, 10, 15 taps, maybe for 30 seconds. And you will find you will start to discharge so much of the tension. And you will have taken that breath, and now you're in a calm place where you can finally address the child instead of react to the child. Then what do you do with the child? You're going to take his hand or her hand and tap the outside of his hand. So I had a little boy come into my office who was so violent. He was on 3 medications for 6 or 7 years already since he was like 3 years old. And he had a horrible diet. He was eating things with MSG and food coloring and all kinds of things. And he was kicking the furniture, swearing, been in 8 schools. And he was extremely violent. And I took his hand and tapped the outside of his hand. And just tap, 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 tap. And it took about 2 minutes. And he was wrestling and pulling away, fighting me, so vulgar, so out of control. But I knew it wasn't him. I knew he was a good kid who was just being poisoned by food. And we just tap, 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 tap. And then suddenly he took a deep breath. He relaxed. I said, "Do you feel better?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Can your mom come in the room now?" Because he wouldn't. He was just horrible with his mom. And he said, "Yeah." And all we did was tap that release valve, the side of the hand, until his tension could start to come out of his body. What happens with these angry outbursts? It's because the person is filled up with so much tension, and it's got to come out. So it comes out yelling or pushing or punching. But if instead we can release the valve of pressure by tapping the side of the hand and let it out that way, then it doesn't have to come out through behavior. Doesn't that make sense?
That makes sense. And so
Totally, and so easy.
Right.
Everybody can do that.
Yeah. And then every teacher with nursery school, elementary, junior high, high school, whatever it is, they could take a moment. And when their students come in, like in the beginning of the morning, because they're getting up early.
Or after lunch when they've had the crazy...
all the crazy stuff. Yeah. And they can do that. And then the teachers could start learning how to do it. The children will learn how to do it. And what a happy classroom.
We do have classes that do this in certain schools. And they have the kids come back after lunch, and they do this on the side of their desk. They take the sides of their hands and like a drum roll, hit the edge of their desk. To just all of them together, for a minute or two to just release all that tension after lunch and all those toxins, and then they can study. So